Tuesday night, I gave the order for British forces to take part in military action in Iraq. Tonight,
American and coalition forces are in the early stages of military operations to disarm Iraq, to free its people, and to defend the world from grave danger.
Hello, my name's Gary. I'm a tank commander. Just got back from Iraq. I know you might be thinking, Gary, you've no been to Iraq. And to be fair, the tan has faded, right? But see, when I first got back, folk were like, that, Gary, that is a cracking tan. Have you been on holiday? And I'm like, no, that's just from the work.
Hiya, how you getting on? Just another sunny day in Basra. Yeah, what's the like, lads? You barbecue? Aye.
Suppose it all started with that 9, 10, 11, do you remember that? For those Rajis took the planes, for like a joyride, flew them into buildings. Do you know what a Raj is? Well, maybe a word I would use or whatever, maybe it's a Scottish word, but a Raj, right, is basically someone that would say something like, oh, how you getting on there? How you doing? How your family doing? How are you getting on? How's your brother? Well, it's good to see you again. Stab, right? That's basically what a Raj is. Anyways, they did that and put them into buildings, and that's when George Bush.
Freedom itself was attacked this morning by a faceless coward, and freedom will be defended.
That's when he got really annoyed, like, because of the dust. And then everyone was like, do you remember, it was one of these things that everyone was like, oh, where were you when it happened? A bit like in the 60s when that guy got shot, from the Bee Gees, and it was like, oh, where were you when it happened? It was like that. It was, but I honestly can't remember where I was. I mean, obviously I wasn't in New York, I would have remembered that, The reason I joined up, right, we used to play at Soldiers all the time, but it wasn't like bang bang you're dead soldiers. It was more like, what do you reckon the biggest ball bearing is we can fit in this air gun? Soldiers, you know what I mean, right? And she is. There was this one time, right, this boy, Davy P, right, he got shot in the balls, right in the balls, right, and I'm not saying who done it. Let's just say it was a sharpshooter. It was me, right? What happened was, right, we used to have this like lookout post up on the 4th floor, right? And we looked down on the kind of square bit where the play part, and then you had the community centre like behind, right? So one day we see Davy P, right, and he came out the community centre, and I think he'd be the scouts because he was limping heavily. Anyway, so he comes up and the square, right, and I've got the air rifle, right? So I'm looking down, right, and I'm like that. I have got Davy P in my sights. I repeat, I have got Davy P in my sights. Permission to fire. I never needed permission to fire, I was going to shoot him anyway, right? So I see him, right? And just like that, and I follow him along, and I'm just like that. Doof, doof. Boom, bam, ch. Right in the balls. Like, right in the balls, right? And he falls, and it was like it was a slow motion, it fell, and it was like that. Oh, like that. It was maybe hard pitched actually, because I got him like right in the balls, and he was like that. Oh! About 3 hours after that, right, his dad came round to see my dad, right, and he says to him, listen, Gary's just shot Davy P in the balls, right? So my dad said to him, listen, I'm really sorry about that. I'll kick the fuck out of Gary after the football's finished, but he never. He just sat me down, and he was like, how far away were you when you shot Davy P in the balls? And I said, well, up on the 4th floor. And he said, well, maybe that's something you could think about, like as a career. And I said, what, shooting Davy P in the balls? And he said, no, like the army.